Hi, if you are building or renovating, then taking action of what you learn in this video will be one of the most valuable things you do for years. I know that this is a big statement, but I can say that because it will help you avoid the number one most costly mistake people make when doing a building project. Have you ever heard the term on time and on budget? On time and on budget is the term used in all big projects. From construction to IT to building roads, all projects are trying to meet their targets. The term refers to completing a project within the planned time frame and within a planned budget. Many times this does not happen, and for your project this is bad news. There are many reasons projects might not come in on time and on budget, but by far the number one reason is lack of planning in the early phases. Here's what happens. At some point you're certainly going to discover a way to make your project better. It always happens. It could be a minor window or door in a better place, layout of a room, or something major that saves you money or dramatically improve the use of space. Sooner or later you're going to want to make a change. And when shortcuts are taken early on, rushing into the design phase, then you miss to discover all the options you had or really wanted until the concrete has already been poured. Without getting a full feasibility study conducted before the builder gets on site, investors regularly shortchange their design. Late discovery of your real needs or options leaves you whispering, "If I only had known." Now this is why we created feasibility study. There are 5 points during the process of a project where you have an opportunity to make changes: feasibility study, concept design, building documentation, tendering and negotiation, and construction phase. If you discover better options early, then you can make the changes effortlessly. Make your discoveries late and you pay exponentially more, or worse, settle for lesser design options. This little chart gives an indication of how costs increase over time. As you can see, at the beginning during the feasibility study phase, costs are very inexpensive. But as we go further in the project, all the way down to the construction phase, changes can cost up to 50 times more, not counting the time and project delays. You know what they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. With a feasibility study you never have to whisper those tragic words, "If only I had known." So take a look at this chart. Time is on the bottom, on the x-axis. Now as time progresses, the opportunity to make changes decreases. So this is a common sense. It is a lot easier to change the location of a concrete footing before it has been placed in the ground. Now let's look for a while for the relative cost to make a change. As you can see, on the left hand side we have a low cost, and at the top of the graph we have high cost. So as the time progresses, the cost gets more expensive. The best time to make a change is at the beginning of the project. This is why a thorough feasibility study should be your first step. If we put this into common terms, measure twice and cut once. When we overlay these two charts, you will see that at the beginning of a project, the opportunity for change is greatest, and at the end of the project, the cost to make changes is at greatest. It is at this point in the process that we want to avoid making changes. We want to make changes here on the left hand side and thoroughly explore all your options. This is why a proper feasibility study saves you time and money. You may be asking, do I need a feasibility study? Well, here's a quick test to find out. Take your pen and paper and give yourself a score for each of the following questions. How clear are you on exactly what you need? On the scale of 0 not at all to 10 completely. Question number 2. How clear are you on all the options your site will accommodate? How confident are you that you are aware of all the legal requirements? How aware are you of the process you will need to have in place to get your project completed on time and on budget? And the last question, out of 10, how confident are you that your budget will achieve your needs? Well, don't worry about not being able to answer all these questions 10 out of 10 yet. The feasibility study review will allow us to fill in the gaps and get you ready to move to the design phase. The first step you will need to complete is the feasibility study. We designed this process a few years ago because we saw a huge issue in the construction industry of people starting design and construction before they had fully done their research and homework. We would see many building projects going over time and over budget. The consequence of inadequate upfront research of needs and options is like building a house on bad foundations. The foundations are the most important part of the whole house because everything is built on top. It is very expensive to change the foundations once you have started to build on top of them, but it is very easy to change them if they are simply lines on a plan. This is what makes us different. We spend more time on the research than most other firms who rush their clients into the design phase. We take a different approach. We only work with clients who are prepared to complete this step properly with us. We will not rush this step. It only causes cost overruns later, and we take shortcuts. If we take them, we are not going to establish solid foundations. The feasibility study is the most important step because it lays the foundations for a successful project. Once complete, the valuable insights you gain from this first phase can be used by us or any other architect and will ultimately produce a better result for you. Can I save money by not paying for a feasibility study? Sure, you could skip this step or meet with someone who gives you a few ideas for free before rushing you into the design phase. But not doing a thorough feasibility study can be the most expensive decision you make during your project. The most cost-effective time to discover all your options is now. I just want to thank you for watching this brief video. We're looking forward to work with you. To book your feasibility study session, complete the form below. Someone will contact you shortly to schedule a suitable time. Complete the form below now to book your feasibility study. Great, thanks.